Welcome to the Talkin Trash Addiction Recovery Podcast. We suffered in silence. Now we recover out loud.
Good evening. Welcome to the Channel 4 News at 6 o'clock news at 9. I'm your anchor, Dictator, coming to you live from the Meat Cove, Nova Scotia Waffle House and dog neutering services where life is a ball. Today's top story that we're following, Arizona psychic hit by a car, says he never saw it coming. Welcome to episode 198, Trashers. We have a very special guest. We got Lara from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Who's going to give us a very different perspective on addiction and how it affects not just the person addicted, but people that are non-addicted. Yep. And now to a man who thinks friends with benefits mean you got a taco truck, Timmy Snyder.
Oh, my God.
I like that one.
That works for me. It's playoff hockey. The Canadians have just won in overtime, Bradley.
Oh, sorry.
Check that. Check that.
Yeah, we're all watching hockey,
Yep.
doing stuff.
There you go.
Everything's good with the show. We're trying to cater to all audiences, all people, not just people in recovery,
Bring it down
people
there,
out of
man.
recovery. Brad's happy. So, like, we do a preamble. Let's just do that and get over it.
This is our humble broadcast, where ethics and personal anonymity are of the utmost importance. We run this podcast as an act of service to those whose lives have been affected by addiction. We don't do it for profit or notoriety. We place principles before personalities. We benefit from this podcast just as much as anyone else. We all work programs and choose to sacrifice our own anonymity to spread the word that recovery is possible. We do this thing in an attempt to show, as living examples, that no matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That's the 9th step promise. It's our creed we abide by here on Talkin Trash. We feel called to uphold AA and NA principles. We firmly believe that you can only keep what you have by giving it away. Please join us in a moment of silence, followed by the Serenity Prayer.
God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
All right. Let's go around and meet the team of Talkin Trash.
Hola.
Yay. Hola. Oh, I am in a mood tonight, boy. Here we go. Willie D in the place to be, William Douglas.
Dial up, Douglas.
We didn't have him last show. He was missed. Will is coming on 3 years clean now. He's doing great things out here in Georgia. We love him. He's my friend and my confidant. And he learns his lesson. That's his thing. Next on deck is me. My name's Tim. I make all the graphics. Hi. That's me. My life is pretty much a migraine headache at like a 4 all the time, which is better than it used to be, so that's good. Next on deck is Bradley Mansfield.
Monster.
Oh, Bradley joined the
guys.
crew a fortnight ago. Bradley's coming on 4 years clean. He's got 3+. He's got kids. He's in AA. He drives trucks. He works like an animal. And then there's Jimmy Leibel, the other guy up there in Canada. Jimmy's 61 years old. He's got
Pizza and Captain Crunch.
You're disgusting, Jimmy.
I am.
Gross.
Was that kind of crunch on your pizza?
Jimmy
pretty
is.
much.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, numb.
Jimmy's our guy where he's like my number 2 and number 3. There he is.
I'm number 2, all right.
Hi, boys. How are you?
Great.
Bradley, come on.
Go,
Do it.
Habs, go.
Go, Habs, go.
There it is. Good for Brad. We're all happy for him. Hockey playoffs are underway. So much fun. I love hockey playoffs. It takes my mind off my life for a second. That's what we're looking at. I don't know if you guys have been watching any of the like the production. Obviously, if you're watching ESPN, you're watching it. They were talking about beer and drinking all day long in Buffalo. They're idiots up in Buffalo. I knew somebody from Buffalo. They're not right. There's something wrong with them. So
Well, they're close to Canada.
Yeah.
it could be that. So let's shuffle off the Buffalo. You're seeing this everywhere. These beer sabers.
Buffalo Soldier.
Beer. It's not practical, but it is fun to do. I'm not an alcoholic, but like, man, they were like they're drinking on the set of ESPN. They're like showing all these different things they drink out of. Whatever. I don't know the point I'm trying to make. It's out there, and it can you gotta guard your mind. Let's go around the horn. Will, how are you? Where were you last show?
Yes, William.
I was working.
Yeah.
It is picked up, because it's gotten hot outside, so everything's
It's hotter. Yeah.
right. And so it's and plus since I didn't have my license for like a month and a half, it's played catch up, and it's still playing catch up.
Understandable.
So I was working today, worked yesterday, day before.
Nice.
But I'm not complaining. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, we know. We never complain.
Could be worse, right?
Mhm.
I ain't lying.
Yep. So we have a guest coming on here tonight. Her name's Lara. She is from Saskatoon, which is north of Jimmy and Bradley. She's not an addict. Her life has been affected by addiction, so much so that she sought us out and found us somehow. And she threw me off when she said she caught up on every episode. Oh my God! Now, I'm thinking.
That's scary.
I'm going to take 100 of them down because, like, we are not what we were when we started this thing.
Come on.
Timmy time.
Yeah, Timmy time.
Well, I can tell you that's a lot of commitment because I've been a host with you guys now for a few months, and I'd be lying to you to say that I've watched every episode. So good honor. That's a tough one. Right?
There's periods I don't even look at them. I just you're up. I can't stand the sound of my own voice. Jimmy, real quick, what's up with you? How are you?
Good. Actually, I had a really stressful week, and every day I always post something on Facebook, something motivational. And I put one on today. I'm not giving up. I'm starting over. And I got phone calls and messages from people just saying, "Hey, did you relapse?" Like,
you gotta watch.
And like people in Carol in Winnipeg and Ben in the States, like. And I'm just like, holy shit, like people who I haven't really met. Yeah, people care, No, I have not, but it's just like every day we start over, right?
You gotta watch.
It's a brand.
Hi. Angie Dickey and Charlotte last show, like we've had a female and Lara tonight, a female influx lately. Like Charlotte was unbelievable last show. I had so many people comment me about her.
She was awesome.
Great.
Her energy, holy shit.
Loved it.
Yeah. Yep. Blair says hi. Good evening.
Hi, Blair.
What's up, Blair?
Let's say hi to our treatment centers, and then we'll get her going.
Bradley, govern yourself accordingly.
Alrighty, Jimmy, could you read that?
Alrighty, welcome. I certainly can. Welcome to all our treatment centers. We have Ocean Beaumont Care, Destination Recovery, Serenity Treatment Centers, Supreme Wellness, New Hope Rehabilitation, Newark Salvation Army, and Prairie Sky Recovery Center. Oh yeah,
the Salvation Army. That sounds gross.
The salivation.
One more. Lift Off Recovery in Irvine, California. Welcome to the show. Thank you. All right, boys. So what do we do here? We do stuff about recovery. Brian's here. Hi, Brian. Angie said Charlotte Wells is her admin in her recovery group. She loves her. Yeah, I don't know what Jimmy's doing out here, but he's got people coming on, and we're turning it into what the show should have been from the beginning, which is interviewing people and hearing their stories. But we faked it till we made it, I guess, until that. So, all right, we read Daily Reflections.
You want to do some flapjacking? Alrighty, kids, make sure you're sitting comfortably in those chairs or in that sofa.
Hold on, Jimmy, let's do this.
Well, we're moving on now. To the east side.
that didn't sound too copyrighted. Okay, kids, make
I
sure you're
didn't think
sitting
it's
comfortably.
whatever.
Well,
Go
people
ahead.
probably don't even know what the hell that's from. I
I
do.
know. It's
All right.
rhymes.
For April the 19th, our daily flapjack is Brothers in Our Defects. We recovered alcoholics are not so much brothers in virtue as we are brothers in our defects and
I
our
know it.
common strivings to overcome them. As William sees it, page 167.
Policy.
The identification that one alcoholic has with another is mysterious, spiritual, and almost incomprehensible. But there it is. I feel it. Today, I feel that I can help people and they can help me. It is a new and exciting feeling for me to care for someone, to care for how they are feeling and hoping for, praying for, and know their sadness, joy, horror, sorrow, grief, and want to share these feelings so that someone can have relief. I never knew how to do this and how to try. I have never even cared. The fellowship of AA and God are teaching me how to care for others. Oh, something about a bug in a rug. What the hell was that part? I didn't see
Snug
that.
as a bug.
I put things in when I like that.
Well,
fun.
I'm
Look,
reading from my script, dude.
Andy said, all right. Andy said, Jim Lible is awesome. He's a great asset to your team.
I've been called an ass. That's about it.
right.
So, but thanks,
You're an
Angie.
Definitely an ass hat.
I'm an ass hat.
What do you guys think about daily reflections here? What was it about?
Well, brothers in our defects. We're not.
Brothers the defects. Yeah.
You're not my biological family. You're my logical family. I always
Brothers
say that,
in
and it's
defects.
true. And it's like because we have this common thread, right?
Yeah.
And we are snugs as bugs in a rug.
I like that. My mom used to say that to me when she would put me to bed.
When she
And I
roll
would
you up
be
in a
like,
carpet. Get the trunk, Brad. Get the
I'm like,
trunk, Timmy. Get the trunk.
I never understood, let the bed bugs bite, that whole thing. I'm like, why
Yeah,
are
that's
bed
kinda
bugs?
gross.
That's a terrible thing to tell a little kid.
Oh.
I don't know. So,
It's don't let the bad bugs bite.
yeah, well, I mean, I know. I'm just saying. There's a lot of talk about bed bugs involved here, and I just don't understand why.
Yeah.
All right, Brad, what do you
Have a
think
clean
about?
bed.
What do you think about brothers? And I'm going to say it real quick. I'm grateful for my defect and my because it allows me to connect with people I wouldn't usually have, and that's how I'm a brother in our defect. Brad, what do you think?
That's pretty much exactly what I was going to say. Once I figured out my defects by going to AA and talking about my stuff, I got to learn what I needed to work on. And I still have a shit ton of stuff to work on. But having that opportunity to be open with others taught me that I can help others as well. But I would have never gotten that way if I never went to AA for me, right? That worked for me. But going to program and talking about myself and then watching how people were actually interested and be like, oh, wait, we have a lot of the same things in common. Like you fucked that up too. And I, like, you don't realize how much in common we all have as addicts and addictions or whatever. Until you start talking about it and get out there and get involved in whatever program you want to get involved in. That's where it comes is the gabbing part, I find.
I mean, it's identification. As soon as you feel like you're not alone, when you prior to that moment you felt alone, that's a very powerful thing, and that's a lot of people experience that in the rooms and in early recovery. Somebody will tell your story and everybody says it, oh, it was all just mumbo jumbo. And then I walked in and so just told my story. And that was my turning point. I realized I wasn't alone. You hear that a lot. And that's just the identification that we have brothers in this whole thing. And they're not just men. This is actually kind of, if you were in Canada and in charge of the national anthem, you would probably rename this, but, brothers in our defects. I mean, we have a lot of female people that we keep track of. We care for. Brothers just means people in general. So I don't know. Anybody got anything interesting to?
I believe that's it. Being open and honest about yourself is the easiest and quickest way to discern or decipher between real friends and fake ones. I mean, like people fall in love real quick. If they don't like what they hear, they're gone. So at least you're not bullshitting for like the first whatever.
Exactly.
So true.
It's not, you get all that fakeness off the table, and you're just like, here I am, this is me, and that's you, and I don't mind you actually, and we build it from there. So,
I don't mind you actually.
They don't seem so terrible. Right? All right, let's get our girl in here. Very excited to hear what what she's all about. She's very cool, very cute. She's got quite a story. What I know, I got a little introduction here I made. Hold on. Today's guest, Lara, she brings a powerful and deeply personal perspective on how addiction impacts not just the individual but everyone around them. She's from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. She spent much of her life in the role of caregiver, the one who holds everything together, keeps track of the chaos, all that stuff, and somehow continues to take on more even when there's nothing left to give. That's what we do to people. And she felt it necessary to reach out. She wanted to come on, and I was like, hell yeah, let's get her in here. So, ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to you, Jimmy?
Hi,
in the long
I
spot.
can't hear anybody. Sorry.
Hi, Lara. You can't hear us now? It's got to be your phone. I don't. What do we do, boys?
Do you have earbuds in? Take your
I
earbuds
can't
out.
hear anything.
She can't hear anything.
Earbuds?
In. Take them out.
Earbuds?
Have you got earbuds? Are you wired?
Take them off.
Take them
Undo it.
off. Do it. Do it.
Lara.
It's the wireless ones.
Take them out.
Take them both
How
out.
about that? Nothing.
Oh, hang on a second.
I think she has her mute on her. It's something simple. It always is.
But the mute would just mute her, right?
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just hang in there, see what happens.
So Bradley, who do the Habs play next?
Oh, still the Lightning.
Just,
Like, it's 7 games, right? So that's game 1.
game
Oh,
on.
that was just.
Should I try
jeez.
coming back in again?
Can you not hear us? No.
No.
Unplug.
Hey, Jimmy, do you have her number? Text her the audio trick.
I'm on the freaking. Hold
Oh,
on
okay.
here.
So
All right.
I'm just trying. I'm trying.
Hold on.
I'm trying.
Hold on. Let me just try this. How
Are you good at reading lips?
All right, she's gonna understand real quick. I just kicked her from the studio. We'll wait for her to come back, or Jimmy is. This thing's going
She
off
could hear
the
us
rails.
before, though, right?
Yeah, that's the weird part.
Let's
I'm
just
just going
bring
to
her in,
resend it.
and
I'll retext her.
she'll be fine.
Dude.
Life is difficult, you know.
Life gets lifey, man. There
Life
you go.
gets lifey. I was just going to use the Jimmy phrase. I love that one. I use it quite often, Jimmy. I stole it a bit, but it works.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Just don't take my underwear.
Okay,
Again.
let's try this again.
How you doing?
Good.
All right, let's
I
get.
can hear everybody.
There we go.
Welcome to the program, Laura.
The program.
We're 20 minutes in already, so I'm gonna yield the floor to you to tell your story, and we'll jump in when it seems necessary. But you have the floor, my dear.
All right. Well, thanks. I'm Lara. I'm from Saskatoon. I personally am not an addict by any means. However, I have been, well, I'll use the term exposed, but I use that very loosely. My dad used to be how do I put this in a way? We'll say he dabbled in a little bit of everything. Alcohol, drugs, that kind of thing. He had his crew when he was, when I was a kid, and they'd always come over and it would always be a grand old time. So I was, I guess, kind of brought up in that environment, I guess we'll call it. And to me, like growing up, I thought that was completely normal. Like I thought, that was how people just hung out and spent their time with their friends.
Yeah.
My mom, on the other hand, had a very different view on things, which is, fair, I would say, granted she's the mother. And then, it was a little bit chaotic there for a bit, as a kid, because my dad, he was a long haul truck driver, so he was never home. My mom used to be a care aide or a nurse or something of that degree. So my parents were always, working and whatever else. So I was very much, fend for yourself kind of deal. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but I mean, I had the guidance of my grandparents growing up and stuff like that. So, I mean, that was kind of nice. Yeah. I always kind of tell people, I may have been born in the 90s, but I was brought up in a very different decade. I keep telling my dad that I was born in the wrong decade, and, he just kind of blows me off.
Yeah.
So my dad used to be hard into stuff. Fast forward a little bit. I have 3 children. They are the light of my life. I love them all very equally. There is no favorites whatsoever. I have 2 girls and a boy, and they are 12, 11, and 9. And yeah, still getting to that very fun age. I know my
In the
time's
middle of
coming.
it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So fast forward a little bit to meeting my children's father. He had a pretty bad gambling addiction when him and I got together. It didn't really kind of set in for me until I was about, in that relationship with him. We both worked very hard. Don't get me wrong. We always made sure the kids had and whatever else, which was great. But when say, after everything was said and done and the bills were paid and stuff like that, if there was a little bit of play money, I always called it, he was the first person to go, oh, I need to go to the bar, or I need to go play the VLTs, or I need to go play slots. And, he'd come home with wads and wads of cash. And then, 2 or 3 days later, it would be all gone. And I'm like, well, we need to buy this or we need to buy that. And we couldn't.
Right.
So at that point, I was very concerned about the future that my children were getting brought up in. Again, I didn't really realize what kind of environment I was in until it had already happened. I thought, that relationship, was just supposed to be rocky and, ride it out because that's the way I was raised. If you love somebody unconditionally, you ride out the hard times, you ride out the good times.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I did. For about 5.5 years, I did, which was fine. And, it just got to the point where, he wanted different things out of life. I wanted different things out of life. And we went in our separate directions, which was fine. Never held it against him by any means. And we still maintained, a fairly, I would say, decent co-parenting relationship. Again, I say that very loosely. And then, so after that, I'll fast forward a little bit further. I had met another person. I'm not too sure what to call him, so we'll just call him K.
Works.
And he had a little daughter, and his daughter and my youngest daughter were actually very close in age. And her mom, like K's child's mom, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The mom of her, she was, in and out of, addiction and stuff like that. And this poor little girl was constantly looking at Kay and was like, what do I do? And when I kind of came into the picture, it was almost like seeing a little version of myself, but from, say, like a 5-year-old's perspective.
Right.
And I just immediately latched onto that little girl, and she was essentially my best friend for, like 6 months. We went out to the store all the time. We went to splash parks. We went anywhere that she liked. We went and did it.
Yeah.
And that was great. And he didn't really have, I think he kind of hit it, to be honest, in the first little bit that we were together. Because I didn't really suspect anything for the first little while. And then towards the end of that relationship again, I had went over to his place the one day, and I didn't know what he was on to save my life. I walked in the door and I asked him, hey, how's it going? Like, does the kid need anything? And he's like, no, she's in bed, whatever else. I'm like, okay, great. And it was almost like a flip, or a switch had flipped. And he literally came at me and he was swinging a hammer at me. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, did you take something? Like, what did you take? Tell me what it was. And he went through like this whole neurotic phase for probably about a good hour and a half. And he's like, we gotta go. He's like, we have to go here. We have to go there. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not too sure where this is going. So I said, okay, well, let's get into the car and whatever else. I just
Will-
drove around the. Oh,
Will,
sorry,
what
go
does
ahead.
that sound like to you?
All I can hear, or I hear, what, so codependent? But I don't know.
The drug that
I-
she was. Oh, forget it. Forget for Jesus Christ.
Oh, meth, whatever. No, sorry. It sounds
The
like
drug.
meth.
Yeah, it sounded like meth. That's go ahead. Keep going, Laura. I'm
I-
sorry.
Yeah,
No,
but
it's
there's
okay.
music playing in the background, so that's all I can hear.
We
No,
do. Okay, go ahead, Laura.
Okay. So yeah, I just essentially I got him into the car and I just drove around the block because I didn't know if he was coming or going because I just walked into essentially chaos.
Yeah.
And I'm the kind of person where it takes a lot to spook me, like I've seen quite a bit of things, I've dealt with quite a bit of things, and for me to be spooked, that's when I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do here?
Yeah, next level.
Yeah, I had no idea what to do because it was at that particular moment when he was in that kind of neurotic episode where I'm like, oh crap, I'm in a situation that I didn't even know what was happening until it was already too late.
Yeah. And that's usually the story with situations like that. You're being reactive to things that are happening instead of being like proactive like a normal human being. Things are just happening, and unfortunately, the family member we leave behind, Lara, has to deal with it.
Well, and it was very much emotional. Like for some reason, that particular breakup kind of hit me hard. Now, I'm pretty sure it was because I got fairly attached to the little kid, because I could really resonate with her even on such a very minor level.
Yep.
But she was the happiest little kid, and she, this is how life is supposed to be. This is how I'm growing up and whatever else. And I'm like, man, this doesn't seem right. I don't know enough about this by any means, hence why I listen to the podcast, because I'm trying to gain some kind of knowledge that if I should ever be in another similar situation, I know what to do prior to everything getting as crazy as it did before.
Yeah.
I think anybody that's, whether you're in addiction or involved with people in addiction, I think it breaks down to breaking the cycle. You just said so many things that I can relate to as an addict, like growing up with parents, or like with seeing addiction and all that. Like, it's normal when you live around it all the time and you're involved in that all the time. It's just the way of life. Like, so you think your brain tells yourself, well, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a normal day.
It's just a normal day. So from what I understand already, just in a little bit that you've talked, like, what you're doing is you want to understand why the fuck some of the stuff's going on, and watching the podcast, all 198 of them, by the way.
Yes, I love the podcast.
That's amazing.
He loves us. Like,
I was gonna ask, and this is none of my business, but that's what I do. I don't shut up half the time.
Yeah.
good at it.
Have you reached out anywhere else for other stuff, like maybe Al-Anon? And I'm not telling you what to do by no means, but there's so many things out there that help, right? Like for me, I go to AA meeting here locally, and they actually have an Al-Anon meeting. So we do once a month open meeting where we talk to Al-Anon in. And I can say for me, because I lost my wife, I lost my kids, I have them back now, but I didn't realize how much my addiction affected my family. And by me talking to people on the other side of it, I'll say, because it was all about addiction. But once I started talking to people like you and realizing, oh my fuck, how much it really affected my family and stuff like that, I got to learn so much more about myself listening to people like you, if that makes sense. Because now it's like, oh wait, I didn't realize I was doing that to my wife or doing that to my kids, right? So it's awesome to have you on to hear that part of it, for sure.
Absolutely. We say product of your environment. We say that a lot. And growing up, that's where the term indoctrinated comes from. It's normal. It's okay to have daddy get a DUI and crash the car or whatever it is. It's like whatever that is, your life is, it's normal, whether it is or it isn't. And something tells me that if Laura right here, I'll talk about it like she isn't here.
Right there.
If she's seeking us out for more information, she's probably ahead of the curve.
Well,
Like
definitely.
that shows like some kind of initiative and interest. And I mean, we're kind of funny. We're not that Jimmy's not that funny, but like Will's
Nope.
hysterical. Like we do what we can.
I mean, I think you guys are hilarious. I'll be listening to the podcast while I'm at work, and it's like I'm physically here having the conversation with you guys, and I look like a crazy person at work because I'm laughing and I'm engaging
I
in the
love her.
conversation.
Oh my god, I
So
love you
how
so
cool
much.
is this when we talk about recovery, for example? So you're the first one, I think, well, since I've been on, where we've had someone who hasn't been an addict. But this is how cool recovery is, because
Yes.
now we have people like us four have our own little thing going on, and then you have lived your life around addicts all your life. So this is where recovery to me just brings all of us together, and we can talk about different sides of stories and what's going on, and we still have things that we all can relate to. So recovery is beautiful when it comes to that, right? So I'm thankful for that.
Well, me too. I mean, if I didn't have the affliction, I wouldn't have any of this. My life would be a different life that I don't care to see. I don't want to live. Will says it best. He wouldn't change a thing. The mistakes either.
Love
you
it.
know.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, I think he has a very good point, because I think for every person, no matter what they're going through, every choice that they have made prior to being in the present, that choice, or all of those choices combined, have made that person who they are today. So I mean, I can really understand what he's saying, because in my experience, like just in life in general, I wouldn't change any of my choices to make me who I am today.
Yep, you're right. Absolutely. Charlotte says hi, y'all. That's her girl.
Hey, girl.
Angie says, Laura, maybe seek out a Naranon or Al-Anon group or CODA meetings. They may help you, honey. I've been there. Family is alcoholics and addicts. She was great. She was on a few weeks ago. Yeah, I mean, like, I've never been to a Naranon or Al-Anon meeting, but it's built for people who aren't addicts, trying to find out why their loved one is the way they are. It's a good resource. I can't speak personally of it though.
No, it's fine. Like, I mean, and this is partially why I had reached out the way I did to Jim, because I'm like, I feel like that maybe somewhere in this world there is somebody who is, or was, or maybe currently is still in that situation, and they don't know what to do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And as far as I'm concerned, like, I mean, and this is just me personally, if I find something that I truly believe in, I will go and charge it head on, because not enough people are talking about it, and maybe there actually isn't people that are, maybe they don't realize that there's something like this out there for them.
Right.
And that's like we were talking last show, like we are blessed with the world we live in, with the technology that we have, because there's so many resources and so many different things out there.
Yeah,
you know, and I'm obviously just talking recovery, or someone that's dealing with recovery as well. We have so many options at our fingertips now that I shouldn't say we don't have excuses. But we have all the resources out there to help ourselves. It's just we have to figure out, we have to help ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Like that's, and I'm speaking from a guy from addiction, because if I didn't want to help myself, I'd still be snorting blow probably right now.
Right, exactly.
But I'm not, right? But I had to help myself, right?
Laura,
Well,
I got.
Okay,
God, honey, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was just gonna ask you, like, you've. It's fascinating to me that you've been around it, but you've never tried it. You've never, like, one night tried it. You just didn't.
You know, to be honest, and this is me being very brutally raw and honest, I have had the opportunity countless times, numerous times I have been offered. But because of my upbringing, I will call it, I have seen firsthand how it reacts with each person, and I really don't want to experience those kinds of things, to be honest.
Good on you. I mean,
Absolutely.
we don't either, but we do it. Like it doesn't. It's not like it doesn't make I mean, it does feel good to snort cocaine up your nose, but like
I mean, I'm sure it
physically,
does. Like,
but like, it
That's
tastes like
right.
shit. It tastes like shit. It burns. Like that's not good for you. But we continue to do that stuff. You just, she's definitely not an addict, right, guys? Because
No.
like, I mean, I don't think.
But you know what? That's awesome.
Anybody
That
can become an addict.
Yeah,
yeah,
right,
and I was
exactly.
just
I'm
gonna
just trying
say.
to.
So I look at that when I hear that, like it's almost a beautiful blessing in disguise that you've seen
Yes.
some of the stuff that you have, because now you're, I'll say, scared of going down that road,
oh
because
yeah.
I actually believe, and I am a firm believer of this, that addiction sometimes is it can be a hereditary thing as well. Like, so my whole family, and I'm not saying that, I don't know if that's true or not, but all my families were drinkers and users, whatever, and
Yep.
I ended up being too. So you still might have that potential to be, but you seen enough where you're like, not today, Karen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? So like, good on you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a Larry sighting. That's right, Larry. He just. I mean, you guys can take
A Larry
Oh,
sighting.
Larry's in
geez,
the house. Larry
freaking
says-
novel.
No matter what the situation, only about 15% of the problem is addiction or the addict. The other 85% is our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual maladies, whatever. To understand why you seem to be attracted to them, you have to work on yourself to figure out the problem. Look at some of the information on adult children of alcoholics. It may help you figure it out. Tell Brad if the Habs win, it's going to take a shovel to take the smile off your face. Jimmy will oblige.
I'll do that. I will oblige.
But
Only
she
a
is
2-hour drive.
Take a number, boys.
A remarkable young lady. Larry is a counselor at a rehab, and we all take what he says very seriously.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, if he can see that, and it's funny, like, boys, tell her a little bit about Larry, like how Larry fits into this moment in history.
Here's a guy with 40 years of recovery.
41.
Sorry, Brad.
Oh,
41
my
years
God.
of recovery, and most people that are counselors have been there. They just don't read a book. They've been out there in the streets. And Larry is just so full and caring, and he doesn't put up with any shit. And he was Brad's counselor when he went to Prairie Sky. I went to Prairie Sky. I had a different counselor, but he just cares about people. And he actually just recently, I didn't tell you guys, he reached out to me. There was a client there, and the mother is having same kind of issues that Lara, saying, hey, like, I'm not addicted, but I'm affected by it. Dog. Just Jesus. But how just finding those resources. But Laura, it was interesting how you said, like, growing up and like, hey, this is commonplace. And I see that all the time. Yeah. When I go to places like corrections or a youth center, and it's like, yeah, I saw somebody getting stabbed or shot or whatever. And it's like, isn't that like a normal Tuesday, like as Brad said? And it's sad. But that's what addiction does. It just messes up that we just do stupid things, but it affects people that are not using, that are not affected with the disease of addiction. So you're amazing. Thank you for reaching out, number one. And for those people out there listening in those recovery centers, listen. There's some lessons to be learned here. So
this is your sister, this is your mother, this is anybody in your family. And like, one of the biggest things for me getting clean and staying clean was really experiencing what it did to the other people, the loss that I felt with my children, all that stuff. I actually really had to experience all that to realize how massive it was, and that's where change started for me. But without perspective, we just keep on going. And if you're an addict in active addiction, shit, I got to think back to what it's like. It's you're a slave. You're just a slave to that drug. And you're trying to make everybody else in the world think that you aren't. And you remind me of like an ER trauma nurse or something like that. Like, you can deal with some shit. Like,
in all fairness, because of my mom's educational background, we'll call it. I've had the luxury of growing up in the trucking industry and healthcare. So, I mean, I actually kind of followed my mom's footsteps for about 5 years. My specialty was geriatric palliative care. However, at that particular point, and this was just before COVID had hit, I was very, bad for picking up, double, triple shifts, because I didn't know what to do. And how I personally deal with things is if I go to work, that gives me 8 hours of peace and quiet for me to actually think about what has either transpired or is transpiring. And it kind of gives me that downtime to kind of think about, like, okay, how am I going to approach this? And when I'm at work and when I was in healthcare at that particular time, dealing with, dementia patients and Alzheimer's patients and stuff like that, it is honestly heartbreaking, like these people, a lot of these people, their families live far away. They can't commute back and forth to come and see them. And as healthcare workers, I mean, you become part of their family, and part of the job description is to not get attached to your patients. Well, you know what? If you're a normal human being, you're going to get attached. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, that's just the way it is.
You're right. If you're a human being with empathy, and you certainly are that.
Yeah, and it's, after, I when I was working in healthcare, I actually lost 7 patients during my career. And every single one of them, I had, taken the time with them and whatever else, gotten to know their story and, how they came to be, how many kids they had and what they did and everything like that. And, when they passed away, or when I helped them pass away, it was like a tiny part of myself as a human being kind of disappeared with them because I had gotten attached. And my last patient that actually passed away, to be honest, before she passed away, she looked at me and she's like, Lara, she's like, I think I'm ready to go now. And I said, okay. I said, whenever you're ready. I said, I'm here for you. I said, I got you. And she said, you have wings. I'm like, what? And she's like, you have wings. She's like, you have great big angel wings on your shoulders. And she said, I'm ready to go now. I'm like, I'm here whenever you're ready. And it was like instantaneously she was done.
Morphine's a hell of a drug. Like when I worked in the hospice industry, I didn't know if I was an addict or not, and I was always stealing fucking everything. I would steal everything. I'd steal their pills. I'd steal and justify it. Like they shouldn't be taking that many milligrams. I'm only going to take 25 of them. I swear to God, Will. This is my fucking insanity. But I also love the people. I wasn't trying to hurt the people. I knew what I needed. I knew it was right there. I knew it would make my day fantastically better, and they wouldn't even miss it. It's probably not going to use it. It's too many milligrams. So that's how an addict's mind works. So you're trusting these people to give you your care and your equipment and not steal your opiates while they're at it. But unfortunately, there's a whole world out there like that. So for you to be desensitized and to come at it from that angle, it sounds like you have quite a saturation point for bullshit.
I can take a lot, but I choose to put up with none, if that makes sense.
Good on you. Yeah, absolutely.
Great answer.
And that's a great answer, isn't it? She's a normal person. This is how normal people talk.
How do you deal with that? Oh my God.
I know. All right.
Here's a question for you guys. Now, because I've listened to all 198 episodes of the podcast, now, from an addict's perspective, now, once you have reached that elevated high, like when you're at the peak of the high, now, and as you're coming down and whatever else, is that when the brain, or how do I put this? Is that when the addiction part of the brain is now kicked in and is like, okay, now I need to get more?
Different for everybody.
Yeah. Well, for me, I couldn't stop. And just blackout when I was an alcoholic.
But I think the one commonality that we all have is that once we start, our mind is 100% on.
I always wanted to get it.
The next one.
Committed.
Even when you're getting high.
And you swear you're not going to do this, that, or the other to get that, but eventually you'd end up doing this, that, and the other because you have to. And that's where the shackles of addiction come in.
I see. Well, I mean, I was just curious because just listening to all the episodes and stuff like that, I'm like, maybe I should ask because I don't know, right? I'm considered a normie,
I think everybody, when it comes to that, like Tim or somebody said, is a little bit different. For me, for example, I was cocaine and booze, and well, I dabbled in every other drug too, but cocaine and booze were definitely my big ones. So if I started coming down, we'll say, off cocaine, I would almost get in a depressive state and like, oh, I'm never doing this again. What a loser you are. You know what I mean? Like I would like,
Never, never.
especially
Okay.
last going off. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like, you know better than this, Brad. And the next morning I'd wake up like, I need another one. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I think everybody's a little bit different. So, but and what it does do, and I do know this, like Larry said it, and God love you, Larry. Go Habs, go. But what I was
Shovel
gonna
incoming.
what I was gonna say is he's 1,000,000% right, and he's taught Jimmy and I that for sure.
Oh,
Addiction's the tip of the iceberg. It's what's in here, what's going on. Like, so everybody's a little bit different, but I think as addicts, we got something wrong with our cuckoo for sure. So once we start working on ourselves mentally and figure out what makes us tick, and I think that's what he was saying with you too, like even not being being a non-addict, we still have to figure out ourselves. So the beauty about addicts or people that are dealing with addiction as well as yourself, like if we can figure out why we think the way we do, like Larry said, like you've caught yourself a couple times with people that have problems, right? It's because that's that's almost the norm. You know what I mean? Because we've always had that lifestyle, right? You know what I mean? So it's we as addicts and people in recovery like yourself, like deal with it. It's nice to figure out what's going on in here, because
right.
The most dangerous spot for me to be is in my own head because I can fuck shit up pretty quick, right? So I have to go to meetings, and I have to talk to people, and I have to work on myself daily, because if I don't, I'm not growing. And if I continue to stop growing, I continue to get closer back to my addiction, possibly, right? So I have to work at it daily.
And that's just it. Like, I mean, I know for me personally, like, because I naturally have such an inquisitive mind,
Yeah.
I'm always wanting to learn. And like, I mean, there's never enough knowledge for me personally. Like, I'm always wanting to learn something. And, it's sometimes it can be a good thing and a bad thing, because once you start reading or being so hyper focused on like one topic or something like that, that's all you think about. So it's like, okay, I may not physically be doing these things, but maybe I'm pouring too much of my time and energy into this, and now it's like, oh, the brain is trying to play some tricks on me or something like that, right? Like it's
But for me, like, and again, I'm a firm believer in this, and maybe I'm biased because I know it's worked for me. Me going to meetings and reaching out and talking to people and being involved in Al-Anon, because I have been with open meetings and stuff, that has helped me so much. Because for me, like I said, doing the Al-Anon stuff, like listening to what they say, I'm like, oh, fuck, I never thought of that. I never looked at that side of the street before. Like, I never looked at that perspective before, like what I was putting my wife through, what my kids might have actually been thinking, what my parents might have been thinking, what my friends might have been thinking, what the outside world was thinking, because all I ever worried about was right here, right? And I lived my life like that for years, being a selfish son of a bitch. And once I learned what other people were, how they react or how they're thinking, and they got to work on themselves, to help me a lot. So again, I'll never tell you what to do, but I do suggest if you do have an opportunity, it wouldn't hurt probably to check out an Al-Anon or whatever those type of outreach, right? And again, I'm not telling you what to do, but it's really for me, it's helped me a lot, right?
Angie just said that she sent Jim some messages.
She sent me 1, 2, 3, 4, a whole pile. I'll forward those to you. I'll fax them to you.
fax. Okay,
fax them to him. 61-year-old Jimmy's gonna fax it. He'll send a stork over.
Shovel.
This never works, right? All right. I'm just going to play a little something. This is how my dad had to deal with addiction and not being an addict. And then we'll talk after.
And in the state of New Jersey, we're called advanced practice nurses.
Anyway, I OD'd. My dad had to save my life, and we'll just leave it because it's not working. All right, boys. We had a question from somebody for Lara. Lara, how old are you, hon?
I am 30.
30, okay.
I got socks older than that.
She's been through some shit in 30 years, man. I mean, like, what we do with our people that we love. It just we don't mean to, and it will get to a point whether we die or get to a point where we see the need for change enough to actually make change. And some people, they find that out in the hospital bed or, in the side of the road in handcuffs or whatever. Everybody gets to that point. It's a progressive illness, and it only gets worse unless it's arrested at some point. And like it's for us, Laura, we have to do a podcast and do a whole brand thing, whip-de-doo thing. Like this is what we have to do to stay sober, to feel connected, because we have this medium, this place where we can all go and know that we're not only accepted, we're loved by each other. And that goes for addicts and non-addicts alike around here for sure.
Which I think is great, because I mean, for people like myself who don't quite know where to dip our toe in, I mean, there's always a starting point. And it's a learning curve, honestly, because I mean, even when my dad, when I was younger, he would always, and he still says this to this day, you will figure out when you've had enough, when you have figured out when you've had enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all. But I mean, now that I'm 30 and whatever else, like, yeah, I get what the old man was trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, there's wisdom. There's a reason why cliches are cliches, because
very much so.
They sound nice and they make a point.
And so, for example, like you said that you ended up finding the podcast and watching it has helped you. So by you saying that to someone like me involved in the podcast helps us. Exactly.
She has no idea. She has no idea. I'm going to tell her, but she is. It's such an awesome thing to have her come on like this. It pumps our tires in a way that like the show was never intended or designed for. And we're just making friends because we're being real and other people are seeing. So like,
and possibly helping others that we don't even know. Like that's what this is about, right? Like this is what this whole thing is about for me and for everybody on this podcast. Is like Timmy said, like we by doing this, we can help hold ourselves accountable. We can talk about recovery, and hopefully, if we even just reach out to one person, you know what I mean, and they hear one thing that they needed to hear, like because that's what recovery is all about. About helping the next person and recover out loud. Like that's what this is about, right?
That's just it. Like, I mean, I've in one of your previous, like your newer episodes, we'll call it like the newer-ish ones. I think it was Jim that actually said it. That was, no, it was you, Tim. Sorry, I said that. Tim, it was actually you that said, like it doesn't matter who comes on to the podcast or what their story is or what their life experiences are. If somebody like this, say myself or anybody, comes onto the podcast for this brief moment in time, it is captured on the internet and you are frozen in time, and somebody will hear it eventually.
So like you're mentioning that, like we don't look at numbers because most of them don't make sense. I could just tell if it's a lot or a little. And the show, like for example, Charlotte came on Wednesday, and Facebook doesn't show like how many people watched that thing or whatever. But like I can go back door and look, and like 900 people have watched that episode with Charlotte. 900 people sat through however long, listen to us four idiots talk about trying to stay sober, and like we're just.
And we are idiots.
And we are idiots, and that we don't deny it either, and we don't claim to be anything we're not. And I think that resonates with people. And to have you come on in a way like we'll never forget this. The time somebody came on, she was a fan of our show. Like that's not usually our
huge fan.
That's a unicorn. You are a unicorn.
She's a unicorn for sure. But now
she's she's talking about how she has to deal with recovery. So like. You're reaching out to people right now that you probably don't even know you're reaching out to. A whole different side of it, right? Which is exactly what the world needs, because it's not just all about us fucking idiot addicts. It's about the people that are around us being and affected by it as well. So I thank you so much for that.
Oh God.
Oh, no problem. The way my takeaway from your guys' podcast, if I'm being brutally honest, is the mental health aspect part of it, right?
Yes.
I also suffer from severe anxiety and depression. So I'm very much an overthinker, hence why I like to go to work a lot. And it even with what I've experienced, like my mental health has not always been, tip top shape. It's
I
always been
got you.
hovering around 50-70%, I'd
I
say.
got you. Yep.
And when I'm listening to you guys at work, I'm taking away the mental health aspect, and I'm trying to apply what has worked for each and every one of you to myself and seeing if it works. And you know what? If it doesn't work, that's okay. We'll try
Yep.
something else.
I mean,
Take what you need and leave the rest
leave
behind.
the rest.
Bingo.
Yeah, I mean, well, all we know is that the problem starts with the problem. It's a mental health
Mhm.
thing. There's a problem, and lucky for you, you didn't. Most people, we come across a substance, we take it, and it makes us feel like normal for once, and that becomes our thing, right? So, like,
Comes our solution.
the solution, the
Yeah.
solution becomes the problem real quick. So, like, to seek out this kind of insight, I mean, it says a lot about you, and we're humbled by that, because like what we do, we can't measure really in numbers. It like you said, this will be on the internet for the rest of eternity. So, like,
Mhm.
you never know if you impacted somebody who decided not to pick up the needle tonight or whatever. You don't get statistics like that, but like, I
And
know that's happening.
and that's just it, right? Like, I mean, if for anybody that's watching or listening or anything like that, if I can provide a little insight from we'll say, like Brad always says, the other side and whatever
Mhm.
else, like, you know what, if you guys can take anything away from my experience, is that people like myself, we have great big hearts. We always have room on our plates for more, even though we don't have room for more.
No.
We will
Yes.
always find
Exactly.
more room for you.
Yep.
And I am one of those
That's
people.
awesome.
It doesn't matter how full the plate is, I always seem to find room for another person. And people are not always monsters. Like, there are
No,
actual
right.
some decent people out there that actually
Mhm.
care.
I wish you were my sister. I'll tell you, people
Crazy.
don't realize how bad it, like, when a video I was going to show you of what was of my dad explaining of a time where I overdosed in the bathroom,
Mhm.
and he had to find me and try to revive me. All I know is I wake up with my shirt ripped open. He had to live through that, the overdose, my
Mhm.
face being blue, so it took me a long time to really stop being selfish and stop what I was doing, at least at first, for the good of others. And that was enough for me at first. And then I began to love myself again and find my
Mhm.
voice. But for you to come on here and share what you did, there are people that listen to this show, right, Brad? They're not addicts. They come to us because they don't know what to do. Jimmy, what was it? Didn't we have somebody like in our like 90th show, somewhere around there, where her son died of an overdose, and
Yep.
she seeked us out because she didn't know if it was okay to feel relief. Like, she felt
Yeah.
bad
Mhm.
about
Yes.
feeling relief, and
I know who you're talking
Laura
about
probably knows
too.
better than she's probably
She
got
probably knows
field
too.
notes on all this
I know
stuff.
who you're talking about. I just can't remember her name.
It's a thing. So, like, but like, there are people like that, and with this kind of thing, this kind of medium, there's a lot of barflies, flies in the wall, whatever. People watching and just taking it and leaving. But we're impacting people in that way. We do it live to keep it green, to have a little fun with our treatment centers and stuff. Like, I thought about this today, boys. I'm like, why did we do this fucking show live? What a pain in the ass. But it keeps it organic. It keeps us on our toes. Larry says the problem with taking on more than we can handle is what we have to give up to do it. And it
Yeah,
right
he's
and
right.
and
Yes.
and you would have to give up something of yours that you deserve, whatever it is. It's not a fair deal. The family members who hang on to the very bitter end, they deserve medals. And you've been through it. I just you're part of our family already. So you're
Oh,
part
well,
of us,
thanks.
and we take care of you from now on. So I don't know.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's just a great idea to come on, and
Yeah.
you just keep doing what you're doing, because
Christ, I'm a host and you've watched more shows than I have.
Yeah, way to go, Brad. Way to go, Brad.
You know what? What can I say? When I pick up a bunch of overtime, I mean, like I said, I burned through those episodes so fast.
That's
Well, I
awesome.
mean, listen to him again, and then listen real deep for when me and Jimmy fight off the air or something. You don't realize stuff is on. Oh, we've been through a lot. We've had a lot of co-hosts and shit go on, and we're still friends. We're still doing our thing.
What
All
What do
right,
you mean?
so-
Are you going through another host? I want to stay.
Never mind.
You're
Bradley.
gonna stay. All right, let's
Yes.
go our just for today. I like that. That was fun.
Yes.
For those
Oh,
of you that
it's-
can hear it, there you go. Well,
Just for today,
footwork.
Just for the
Footwork. So many times addicts have sought the rewards of hard work without the labor. Basic text, page 34. When we first came to NA, some of us wanted everything and right away. We wanted the serenity, the cars, the happy relationships, the friends, the closeness with our sponsor, all the things of other people had gotten after months and years of working the steps and living life on life's terms. We learned the hard way that serenity comes only from working the steps. A new car comes from showing up on the job every day and trying to practice these principles in all our affairs, including our employment. Healthy relationships comes as a result of lots of hard work and new willingness to communicate. Friendships with our sponsors come as a result of reaching out during the good times as well as the bad. In Narcotics Anonymous, we have found the path to a better way of life to reach our destination. However, we must do the footwork. Just for today, I want a better life. I will make an inventory of what I want, find out how to get it, talk to my sponsor about it, and do the necessary footwork.
There you have it. Beautiful.
It's America.
That's America.
America. All right.
Yeah, welcome to the America.
Let's
America.
let's thank our friend here, Laura. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
No
Absolutely.
problem. Thanks for having me, you guys. I really appreciate it.
It meant a lot to me personally, so I appreciate you, and we'll take care of you. Everybody, we'll see you on Wednesday.